We've got something super important to talk about in this week's forecast, so I just want to quickly say that it would mean so much to me if you rated, reviewed, shared, and subscribed to the podcast. I think I've proven reliable and that these forecasts drop every Sunday with routine third house frequency. So if you're enjoying the forecast or you just want to support me, please leave a rating or review. Now that I've publicly begged for your support, let's get into what is making the astro weather so important this week. Hold on to your butts because Saturn returns to Pisces on Monday, September 1st. This really is a wake me up when September ends moment, except Saturn is going to be in Pisces until February. Saturn ingressing back into Pisces means that anyone who has their natal Saturn in Pisces is resuming the last leg of their Saturn return, and anyone who has their natal Saturn in Aries has ended the mini preview of what their Saturn return will bring once it fully begins next year. Saturn leaving Aries also means that all those aspects with the generational planets that I've been squawking about for a couple weeks, those are no longer in play anymore. We're done with those. Saturn is no longer speaking with those generational planets. Whether you're in your Saturn return era or not, we need to take note of where Saturn is transiting because it indicates an area of increased hardship or responsibility. Saturn ingressing into Pisces means that we're going to be revisiting themes that have caused us strife over the last 2 years. To really hone in on this, look at the house that Pisces rules in your chart and what that house presides over. Or you can sign up to receive my weekly horoscopes and I can spell it out for you there. Either way, the realm of Pisces is going to be re-highlighted as an area that we need to firm up and get serious about. The good news in all this is that it's the end of Saturn's time in Pisces. Like I said when I made that poorly executed Green Day reference, Saturn is going to be in Pisces until February of 2026, but then it leaves for good, and we won't see it again in Pisces for another 30-ish years. The reason this is good news is because we should understand the lesson by now. The hardships and the obstacles being brought up in the realm of Pisces should no longer be confusing or super hard to navigate. This is old news. We know the lesson. We recognize the lesson, which means these last couple of months with this transit are when we should be wrapping things up. There should be coming to a close. We're closing a chapter with Saturn in Pisces. Saturn's cycle in Pisces is coming to an end, which means the hardships should be coming to an end, but so is the wisdom that we're receiving from engaging with those hardships. The wisdom that we're getting from Saturn in Pisces, it's running out. Time's running out, so to speak, so we really want to engage with this transit. The area that Saturn in Pisces correlates to for you is a place where you've been trying to solidify something or take on more responsibility or even just mature. You've been needing to get serious, but without losing your magic or whimsy, because this is Pisces. Pisces is an area that we can act naive or like a victim or just be a little confused about. So Saturn's lessons have likely forced us to toughen up, grow up, and face all of our own bullshit, essentially. For anyone who has their natal Saturn in Pisces, do not get freaked out that you're back in your Saturn return. I told you guys, do not celebrate. Do not go out in the streets and say, oh my God, it's done, it's over, yay. No, it was not over. It's here, it's back, and Saturn is here to test you. This is another 6 months of heavy Saturnian energy, and then you'll have finally officially graduated from the school of Kronos. And for all my Saturn and Aries people, the last couple months, all summer pretty much, has been a preview of what you'll experience, but yours fully starts next February. So if you're wanting a Saturn return reading and your Saturn is in Aries, come see me starting February. With Saturn switching signs, it also means the ruler of the transit has changed as well. When Saturn was in Aries, it was Mars ruled, and now it's back to being a Jupiter ruled transit. Jupiter is currently in Cancer, the place of its exaltation, which also bodes well for the last leg of the Saturnian race. The ruler of the transit is happy and it's thriving, which means these next couple of months are truly going to be about applying your wisdom and proving your growth within the realm of Pisces. Jupiter is going to be staying in Cancer throughout the duration of the transit, so expect a lot of growth and implementation of wisdom over the next 6 months. And I know I've been poo-pooing on Jupiter in Cancer, but this is its moment. This is the moment where it's actually going to come through for us a little bit because it is the ruler of this transit and it is in such a happy place right now. So I do think that the last leg of Saturn in Pisces is going to be a little easier. You know, easier is italicized and in asterisks and bold, but it is going to be easier if you have your natal Saturn in the last couple degrees of Pisces, and it's probably not going to feel as easy because you're at the height of your Saturn return. But generally speaking, since the ruler of the transit is super happy and exalted, the last leg shouldn't be too intense. I say all of this. I say all of these good things, but there is a catch. It's only going to be smooth or easier if you've been putting in the work and paying attention to the lessons of Saturn. I keep saying we're on the last leg and the hardships should feel familiar and the ruler is happy. But if we haven't been paying attention or we refuse to embrace and implement the lessons, then the next 6 months are going to suck just as bad as the first 6. And I'll use myself as an example. Saturn is moving back into my 6th house. And I've had a lot of health issues start up over the last 2 years. Nothing serious. Nobody freak out. I'm fine. It's been more along the lines of learning to be more intuitive with my body, actually listening to what it's saying. I started allergy shots again, and then I realized I have a histamine intolerance, so then I stopped them. It's been a journey in a lot of different ways. But basically, if when Saturn comes back to Pisces and I forget all the things I've learned and I stop doing the things that I know have been helping me feel better, then yeah, I can expect my health to tank again. I can expect it to not feel good again. But if I implement the wisdom and what I've learned over the last 2 years, I'll likely have an easier time and I might even grow further from doing so. This energy is going to be the main staple this week, so I think it would be good if we all took some time to reflect on our journey with Saturn before beginning these last 6 months of the transit. If you're into journaling, you can ask things like, how have I been challenged in the realm of Pisces over the last 2 years? What progress have I made? Where have I fallen short? How can I blend both intuition and logic when making choices in this area of my life? What are some future goals I have for the realm of Pisces, and how can I use what I've learned to continue to grow? Reflection on our Piscean realm is going to be a super helpful way to kick off Saturn's return to Pisces, so I hope those prompts helped a little bit, but that you expand on them, make them your own, do your own thing. Those are just some questions I'm probably going to be asking myself and using tarot cards or journaling about to expand upon them further. Saturn is going to be overshadowing pretty much everything this week, but Mercury is moving into its domicile of Virgo as well. This means our minds are going to be sharp, pointed, critical, and ready to analyze or assess whatever comes our way. Be wary of overthinking or perfectionism for the next couple weeks. We want to use Mercury in Virgo to better, not belittle. And this goes for ourselves and other people. There is something else on the horizon, an eclipse. I don't want you to think I forgot about it or that it's not important. It very much is, and it very much plays into the energy of this week because it's going to be happening in Pisces. The reason I'm not touching on it in this episode is because it happens on Sunday, which means it's included in next week's forecast. To all my patrons, you guys will receive your full moon eclipse horoscopes midweek, so be on the lookout for those. They'll have a rundown of the eclipse energy as well as what you can expect personally via your rising sign. If you want cool, personalized eclipse information, as well as a bunch of other horoscopes, then go sign up to receive my zine through my website, moonmattersastrology.com, or through Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. This week is intense, but it's not unmanageable. At least we know what we're up against once Saturn ingresses into Pisces. And also, it's kind of nice to have a break from Saturn talking with Pluto and being next to Neptune. That was really harsh stuff. I don't know everybody else's worldview or outlook on Neptune, but I am fully convinced, and I said this in the Moon Matters episode on Neptune and Aries, I am fully convinced that Neptune is a malefic. It brings harsh, confusing energy. It's not been fun having Saturn next to Neptune and Aries. Speaking of the generational planets, Uranus also stations retrograde this week as well. As a traditional astrologer, I don't put a ton of weight on those kinds of things, but Uranus will dip back into Taurus in November because of the retrograde. But that's another forecast for another day. It's on my radar, but we currently have bigger Saturnian fish to fry. Don't let Saturn trip you out. Take care of your feet and have a great week. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive my zine. You can also find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.